What we're going to be doing is solving rationals. This time, instead of working with 2 terms, we're going to be working with 3 terms. So in order to do this, we're not going to cross multiply because we don't have a common denominator on one side. What we're going to do is create our own common denominator. So we have an x plus 2 and a 4. So what we do is we multiply everything by 4 times x plus 2. Now when we do that, what we're going to do next is we're going to cancel. So x plus 2 and x plus 2 cancel. 4 times 5 gives us the 20. 4 times 2 is 8, so we have 8 and then x plus 2. And the last one, the 4's cancel, so we get 9 times x plus 2. We distribute the 8 to each of the terms. We distribute the 9 to each of the terms. We combine the like terms. Then we subtract the 8x, and 9x minus 8x is x. And then what we do is we subtract the 18. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our first example, and we're going to look for a common denominator. We see an x, we see a 9, so we're going to multiply everything by 9x. The x's cancel. 9 times 3 is 27. 9x times 1 is 9x. And when the 9's cancel, 5 times x is 5x. I'm going to subtract the 9x. And I get 27 equals negative 4x. I'm going to divide it by negative 4. And I get x is equal to negative 27 over 4. Now, looking at the second example, we're once again looking for a common denominator. We have an x plus 1, we have a 5. Now, just to clarify, if you just see a number by itself, we know that the denominator is 1. So that means that our common denominator is 5 and x plus 1. 5 and x plus 1, and then 5 and x plus 1. For the first term, the x plus 1's cancel, and 5 times 11 is 55. For the second one, nothing cancels, so 5 times 4 is 20, and then we have the x plus 1. And then for the last one, the 5's cancel. 1 times x plus 1 is just an x plus 1. We're going to distribute the negative 20 to each of the terms. So we have 55 minus 20x minus 20 equals x plus 1. We're going to combine the like terms. 55 minus 20 is 35 minus 20x equals x plus 1. We add the 20x. And that right there gives us 35 equals 21x plus 1. I'm going to subtract the 1, and I get 34 equals 21x. And then when I divide it by 21, what I end up with is x equals 34 over 21. Now, looking at letter C, what we're going to do is we're going to look for a common denominator. We have an x plus 6. We have a 3. Notice that the 6 would be 6 over 1. So our common denominator would be 3 and then x plus 6. 3 and then x plus 6. And then 3 and then x plus 6. Nothing cancels here. So 3 times 6 is 18. Here the x plus 6's cancel, and 3 times 2 is 6. And here the 3's cancel, and then we have minus 4, and then x plus 6. I'm going to distribute the 18 to each of the terms. 18x plus, and then 108 equals 6 minus 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 6, negative 24. Remember to distribute the negative. Add the like terms, 6 and negative 24 gives us negative 18 minus 4x. I'm going to add the 4x. And then I'm going to subtract the 108 just to do both steps at once. This way I get the x's together. That's 22x. I get the numbers together. That would be negative 126. And then I divide it by 2. Now with this one right here, we can actually reduce it. They both have a 2 in common. So we divide the top by 2. We divide the bottom by 2. That should be a 22. So when we divide the top by 2, we get negative 63. When we divide the bottom by 2, we get 11. Now looking at letter D. This time we have 3 denominators. So since we have 3 denominators, we have to look at all 3 to figure out the common denominator. We have a 3, an x, and a 5. 3 times 5 we know is 15, so that would be 15x would be our common denominator. And so when the 3's cancel, what we get is 5x. 5x times 2 is 10x. When the x's cancel, 15 times 3 gives us 45. And when the 5's cancel, 4 times 3x is 12x. I'm going to get the x's on one side, so I'm going to subtract the 12x. And I get negative 2x is equal to 45. I divide it by negative 2, and x is equal to negative 45 over 2. Now, looking at letter E. What we're going to do is we're going to look for the common denominator. And so we have a x minus 5, we have a 3, and we have a 12. Sorry, a 3 and a 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. So we have 12, and then x minus 5. We have 12, and then we have x minus 5. And then for the last one, what we have is 12, and then x minus 5. So for the first one, the x minus 5's cancel. 12 times x is 12x. Then the 3 and the 12 cancel. 4 times 1 is 4, so that would be 4x minus 5. Then for the last one, the 4 and the 12, that would be 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we have x minus 5. So I'm going to distribute the 4 to each of the terms, and that gives me 12x plus 4x minus 20. I'm going to distribute the 9 to each of the terms. It gives me 9x minus 45. Add the like terms. I get 16x minus 20 equals 9x minus 45. I'm going to subtract the 9x. And then I'm going to add the 20 and do both steps at once. So when I subtract the 9x and cancel the 20, I now get the x's together. And so 16x minus 9x gives me 7x. And then negative 45 plus 20 gives me negative 25. Next step is I'm going to divide by 7. And what I get is x is equal to negative 25 over 7. Okay, looking at our last one. Pause the video, try to do it on your own and see how you do. Okay, with letter F. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the common denominator. So I have an x, a 2, and a 7x, and the common denominator would be 14x. So I'm going to multiply everything by 14x. So 14x, 14x, 14x. The first one, the x's cancel, and I get 14 and then x plus 1. Then the 2 cancels with the 14, and I get minus 7x. And the 7x cancels with the 14x, and I get 2. 2 times 8 is 16. I distribute the 14 to each of the terms. 14x plus 14 minus 7x equals 16. 14x minus 7x is 7x. I subtract the 14. I get 7x is equal to 2. And then what I do is I divide it by 7. Oops. And so my answer is x equals 2/7.